after that great match, we had to have
a bit of
something...
a break, something as a bit of a breather, so which explains its place on the card.
Yeah.
The return of Paul White,
who doesn't take any BS.
He doesn't take any BS. Against QT Marshall, because it's very old school. We'll put a non American twang on it, so he appears foreign, so that he emphasizes it. And Solo and Kamoto from the factory. Who bloody cares? This is the match at the beginning of this particular LMKO that we talked about as the one that was a little bit
Yes.
But also had a bit of has a quite a valid excuse.
Mm-hmm.
In that it's Paul White's first match back after injury. QT was QT. He had his ass handed to him in this match.
Mm-hmm.
As it should be, because that was my big questions. Are AEW going to book, after how many fucking years, is Paul White going to be booked like a giant? And he was, but a giant who's had very invasive, complicated surgery on his hip that has completely affected his ability to train. He's got a little bit of extra weight on. He's not the same super trim, my god, how the fuck has he done that show that he was prior to it ago. But that makes sense. He's a tiddly bit slower in stuff, but they played on that, which was fine. It was what it was. It has an asterisk next to it, but it's one of these ones where when it comes to the score at the end of this thing, at least from my side, I'm not punishing the pay-per-view for that. It is what it was. You had somebody who was injured, coming back from really fucking major surgery that affects him more than it would affect somebody of normal size. His fucking hip was down to nothing or something, like something fucking stupid. Oh, they showed the X-ray briefly, didn't they?
Yes.
The ball of the hip was like a fucking tennis ball.
Aye.
It was like nothing in his leg. It's like, how the fuck is your leg not fallen off? So yeah. Other than that, it was looking good. Like I said, the Chicago pop for the chops, as always, made it. As always, it sounds like he's caving the man's chest in. We had a tease of a choke slam. We didn't really. We had a choke slam at the end, but it was all in the air.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you're never gonna get the same kind of like choke slam he was doing like 20 years ago. No. But
we're not gonna get the fucking moonsault either. But
no, of course not.
But at the same time, you wouldn't put it past him. Now he wouldn't put it past him actually. Might do a Vader bomb. No one's doing the Vader bomb in AEW, I think. Actually, I think one of the women might be doing a Vader bomb, funny enough.
Kind of mind.
But somebody who's nowhere near the build that a Vader bomb would actually realistically do anything.
Yeah.
Even fucking Hager's not using the Vader bomb anymore. But then again, Hager's not fucking fighting. So, there we go. Anyway, so QT Marshall got his ass handed to him. The honor of the Schiavone family was saved. Again, Paul Giovanni was, absolutely no Fs when it came to the commentary. It was like, I want this man hurt. I want this man hurt. I know I'm supposed to be impartial, but I want this person hurt badly. And then, skipping over this quickly, the main event: Kenny Omega with the Purple People Eater, Don Callis, versus Christian Cage, versus a table that broke in a really fucking awkward way.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Granted, that was just the second spot the second table spot of the night. The first one was really, yeah. I mean, granted, it was just Kenny just doing a coup de grace on
and then randomly
Cristian.
and then randomly being obsessed with bloody
Urkle. Yeah, I know.
I
was like,
that? Yes, you
geez.
did. What?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like,
I've never seen anyone do that before.
Well,
just fucking stamps the table through somebody.
I think, I mean, it's been a while. I think I have seen that before, though. It's like seeing someone just like literally just stamp a table on top of someone and just, you know, do it that way. But no, the other table spot that happened where the legs of the table, like the other end, came up through
the table, and
it got right
into his rib cage, and there was a horrible mark there afterwards, and he had blood coming up into his mouth, and it's like, okay, has he hurt his kidneys? Has he hurt his liver? Is it just like because there was an obvious wound? It wasn't a cut or anything. I think it was just like this very deep abrasion / impact. But you saw it on the replay, and they mentioned it on the commentary. But the fact that they it really just came straight up.
Mm-hmm.
That table broke so peculiarly. But I think that's because they were coming at the angle, maybe.
Possibly.
And then actually, because I think Cristian's like weight hit the edge of the table, like the bit before the legs.
Yeah.
First, and that sort of broke it, which allowed the legs to come up through. But it really did come. It was nasty. It was nasty.
Really
and the
nasty.
match lost a step as a result of that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seemed to go a bit slower there afterwards, but at the same time, you've got somebody with blood coming up in their mouth. And for a moment, I wonder if you felt this too. Did you suddenly fear that AEW was going to have a main event fall apart on them?
Possibly.
A la Kaboom that was not, and would be the thing that everyone talked about.
I mean, granted, probably not at that degree.
I mean, that's not hard. It's not hard to not.
No, it's not hard to do to top that blunder. But no, I did feel as though that this wasn't going. I had a feeling it wasn't going really well.
Things didn't seem like they were going to plan.
Yeah,
but like I say,
that's what I felt with the final two matches. Is that the final two matches just did well. Granted, the second and final match, obviously, that was piss break. But the main event, I did feel it was just not going too well.
I think that there was probably a few things planned that they obviously changed, they altered to protect.
Which is weird because they went 21 minutes on this.
It's fucking Cristian.
So
remember, it's Cristian outwork everybody.
Of course.
And Cristian's gonna fucking ignore something like that. That's just wrestling to him.
But even then, it's like he still wasn't, or him and Omega was not getting, they're like not gelling that well. There was
something about it that was a little bit like it felt like they wanted to go at two different paces.
You think Omega wanted to go at a quicker pace than Cristian? Because
I think Omega probably wanted to slow it down actually, and Cristian wanted to go a bit far. I think it's the reverse.
All right,
but there was definitely something there that they weren't.
Yeah, they were in different gears essentially.
They're in different gear. They had the same mindset of where they were going, but there was just that. There was just that enough to sort of put it off of where it should be. That said, we're not saying this is a bad match at all.
No, it was just off. It was just a little off.
A little bit. Can Don Callis just get the fucking kill switch already? Why has that not been a thing yet?
I don't know. He might have like whatever immunity to physical damage that
bollocks.
that was given to
bollocks.
Stephanie McMahon, except he's a guy, so it makes it even worse.
No. Remember Jericho code breaking the shit out of him in New Japan that time. If it's one of those things again, is what I said about Eddie getting the small win, in that he got out of the game over.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that situation, I mean, I know Christian's obviously won the fucking Impact title off of him, but if he's not winning the AEW title, he needs to get his hands on Don Callis, and Don Callis needs to pay for his sins for Cristian, so that commentary can go, oh my god, there's like the kill stretch 25 years in the making, or whatever it is, from the betrayal in wherever it was, the promotion where he got turned down, and instead they picked. Don Callis really wanted to get his hands into Kenny Omega when he was like 14 or some fucking weird crap.
Actually, no, it was way younger than that.
It was like, yeah, it was like, we're gonna take there's this up and coming really hot rookie, and we're gonna I'm turning him down because I want this small child, which isn't creepy at all, Don Callis. Pig Panther over there. What the fuck? Oh, jeez. Actually, a new theory on Don Callis. He was actually just been born. That's the only time in your life you are that pink. Just straight out of the womb. I can only assume he just crawls back in his mother's womb between pages.
Oh god! Oh god! Don't.
I know. Overkill. That's the overkill.
Flashbacks.
Actually, you compare them to each other. Those two characters.
Oh come on! Don Callis is not that disgustingly bad. He's not that disgustingly designed as a human.
I love my mother, and also Kenny Omega. So yeah, it was much from madness. We had,
I mean,
lots of teases, lots of very hard. There was a couple of like V triggers that were really hard. Really hard. Like, oh my god, he's got no teeth, or he's knocked out. There was a couple of those with loads of teaser finishes. Hit the spear, of course, in honor of the brother that isn't. The brother that isn't in another company. And all I could think of was Red Velvet can teach you a thing or two. And then we had our final no spot of the night. We had the top rope kill switch tease reversed into a fucking rope one wing day. I mean, again, goes to show, the regard of Christian. It's like, this is what it takes to put Christian away for Kenny Omega, is to make
effectively
top rope one wing angel. But at the same time, a top rope one winged angel. Well, no. Bret's rope one wing angel. Oh, Bret's
that's even worse. Yeah.
No wonder they trademarked King of Hearts for AEW. Bloody hell. Bret's rope. First rope, Bret's rope. Oh no,
Yeah.
no, it goes top rope,
Bret's rope.
Enzo Amore's rope.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Jesus.
We thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Turns out it was just his career. Yeah, they won. They beat him up.
Yeah.
Jurassic Express came in, beat them up. Everybody got their licks in. After the match, we had the promo teaser, and then it actually happened. My God, we had a double-decker, double bubble, double trouble Not the outsiders, but same kind of impact everyone's been saying.
Well, that's what many people were kind of like implying that this moment was. It was like outsiders thing. But as I will quote Punk in the scramble, this is beyond.
This is bigger. This is bigger.
This is bigger.
In his opinion, this is bigger.
Yeah, because this is like because obviously they're not partnering together. These two, no, they're on separate ends of the pitch of the football pitch. No, this is like, but it's still major ground shaking because these are two individuals who are great at their craft of like telling stories, pulling off promos and whatnot,
and have been at the top of their game. They've been at the top of their game.
Yeah, for years. So, and of course, so for those who don't know, obviously, Kenny Omega was on the mic and saying that nobody was on his level. Nobody. It's like, and if anyone was on his level, they're either not in the company,
retired,
or dead.
Well, they're already dead.
That was the cue.
It's all about the boom.
Like,
Adam Cole, baby. 3, 2, 1. Adam Cole, baby. Rank no.
No. That's...
Copyright infringement.
Adam, don't come
I
after me,
was so glad, by the way. Actually, funny enough, he was playing. Considering this, when this goes out, he was actually playing. And they're his Chugs guys. He was actually playing Resident Evil original remake 2002. Actually earlier.
Oh yeah.
Funnily enough, after what's going to happen for Turbo In. But my first thought was, oh my goodness, he definitely owned the trademark to Adam Cole Baby.
Oh yeah.
Adam Cole, Bubba.
Yeah. No, baby with
actually baby.
With E. Yeah, no, with E. It's like B-E-Y.
Yeah,
so
B-A-Y. Baby.
Baby.
Yeah. But no, the whole dead thing obviously referring back to being the elite.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he was killed off. They referenced the fact. Scab was quick to point out the fact that there's big history here, big massive history here going on because he was betrayed and kicked out of Bullet Club. We had the reverse of the kiss goodbye. We had the kiss hello from the Bucks.
Because everyone was thinking, Adam Cole was gonna go up against Kenny. Like, nope. Super kicks Jungle Boy.
Kicks Jungle Boy. It was the Jordans. It was the Jordans all along. No, but yeah, all the crowd are pissed. Nah, they were sort of like, yeah. I still want to cheer, but no, don't make Omega stronger. Don't make Omega stronger.
Yeah,
there are so many people for Adam Cole to fight in AEW that I'm really excited about. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
he's got a TNT title run in his future, as really.
I'm sure that's gonna be
as a noxious
yeah.
Because I'm sure that's actually that's as the dominant faction in AEW. The one thing that actually, funny enough, the Elite haven't gone after is TNT.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, and now that they do have Adam Cole in there, yeah,
which is a good thing for when maybe for Miro to challenge Omega. Just like you say you're the most dominant, you haven't come after me. And Miro's thing now is like, okay, well, I'm not waiting for people. I'm going to challenge them. He's the champion that challenges people. Mm-hmm. So, which is why we had Eddie Kingston in the first place.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be the ending of the night.
Oh no! There was a slight tease. There was a slight tease that he was going to like completely burn the fucking bridge with WWE at one point. Didn't he say, "Who wants story time about Uncut?" And everyone was like, "Oh, he's going to fucking do it. He's going to fucking do it." And then it turned out to be not anything.
Nothing major at all.
That's a shame.
Yeah, But
at the same time, good. Don't burn your bridge, kid.
But with how things would go about, and it's like Kenny Omega was just ready to just wrap it up for the night.
Yeah.
He was about to kiss everyone goodbye and good night, but nope. One last thing.
Ride of the Valkyries.
Ride of Valkyries. Yep.
And everyone, and it wasn't even that. It was the fact that the lights went out a second time, and everyone lost.
No, it did. It didn't go. It didn't go out the second time.
The lights went out a second time.
No, they didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, yes. I don't remember it going
they did.
out.
And good black, cut black.
I can't remember it being.
It was the fact because it was the cut to black. It was the 2 seconds of cut to black that everyone lost their shit. Because it was everyone lost their shit because they're not doing them both. They're not doing them both because it was the big surprise that it's Adam Cole and we'll have wrap it up, good night. The fact that it was both, the fact that it was indeed both of them was everyone lost their shit, rightfully so, because so did I. I'm guessing so did you.
Yes. Oh, I mean, come on! It's Bryan fucking Danielson for
Bryan fucking Danielson,
the American Dragon,
who didn't come out with American Dragon initially, but
no.
But now has done. So they've made sure they've obviously got that trademarked, I'm guessing. But yeah.
Well, so long as Disney doesn't come after them.
Nah, but it's trademarked for apparel and wrestling purposes and entertainment.
Yeah.
Which would be different to anything that they had. Anyway, Ass Kicking Mushu was here, and he they did a glorious. Before we do that, rewind back to Adam Cole coming out. The line I never knew I needed in wrestling. JR Jim Ross going, "It's Adam Cole, baby." With such relish, such joy of getting to say it. It was somebody Jim Ross knew.
Fair dues. I mean, granted, I'm sure he probably wanted to do some sort of call for Adam Cole.
But it made it more. Again, it's one of those things that we get with Jim Ross doing stuff. It makes it more. It makes it much more of a moment that it was the commentators going, it's the guy you think it is, and the fact that it was JR there. Honestly, he said it in such a way, and it's such like an accent twang that it sounded a bit dusty. Actually, it sounded a little bit like, "Did you miss me, Daddy?" I've been fucking terrorizing DoubleXXCross with
Dusty impressions. Yeah. Jesus,
it happened the other day. Okay, I know this is well off track. I don't care because this is fun. So.
Story time with Kevin.
Do you want to know a story? No. So we're sitting down and we're watching stuff. We're talking about this and that and the other in wrestling, and I was talking about AEW and how it was really joyful. And I was sort of caught up in a few things because she's somewhat interested. Like I say, we watched the Danhausen stuff, we watched the Major Pod stuff, and some other bits and pieces.
Yeah. And
we've been talking in the Discord actually. We've been educating her in the history of Sting. But. She said something, and then I started doing like a funny fake voice, which I suddenly realised turned into Dusty Rhodes.
Where you see cat, baby?
Yeah. You see, baby. You see, Daddy is the thing about Dusty Rhodes is, it's actually like a really crap Chris Eubank impression, really, more than anything, but. I then proceeded, which is a thing I do very occasionally. I proceeded to pretty much cut a fucking uninterrupted 12-minute promo as dust. No, I could not be stopped. I don't know why. It took me over.
Did you go into the whole thing? It was like the pork and beans.
God,
and Dan with kings and queens.
I was like, Well, Dusty Rhodes' dinner isn't here. It's had times, baby. Had times.
Had
Dusty
times.
Rhodes.
Oh God.
But I was like commentating on stuff, and I was like, we're watching like a Zelda Let's Play, and I was like, Dusty Rhodes was like saying, "Why hasn't he? He hasn't even.
He's got
He hasn't even got the Ocarina of Time. That's no good for nobody." Cat was going to go, please stop, please. Oh, she was in fits of laughter, but at some point she was like, no, please stop.
You're
please stop.
hurting me.
She's like, Kevin, please stop. No, Kevin's not here anymore. It's just Dusty Rhodes. It's you and Dusty Rhodes forever. This is what I'm going to say to you. There is nothing here but this bionic elbow and Dusty Rhodes. You're living here for 12 fucking minutes.
And a camera wasn't on at that time. By God.
No. But now she's is the one thing that I think Kat's ever threatened me on. Is like, don't do that again. Don't talk as that voice again. Just don't. Well, not even be nothing. No, you'll be sleeping. You'll be sleeping on the couch forever. But she's not. She's not an LMKO. So Dusty Rhodes can be here for as long as like. Dusty Rhodes is now your LMKO champion. This is how it's going to be from here on out. Anyway, where the fuck were we? Oh yeah, Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson. Yes. By God, I love. He coming in as the knight in shining armor to be the light in our darkest hour, is with the the Matrix of leadership and God knows other
exactly. He had the Matrix of leadership. The Matrix he opened his chest. Out came some of William Regal's old wrestling gear, and then came the Matrix of leadership. But
it's like amazing. He was like, obviously he was staying the ground with Jungle Express and Cristian, fighting off the Elite and whatnot, and just when he had, I can't remember which Jackson brother was in there.
It was Nick.
Nick. He was just wailing him in the corner. Everyone's just shouting, yes.
Oh no, I think he did the punches to Matt, and then he hit the knee to Nick. I think, but everybody was going again. Everyone's going nuts,
right into it. Really love it. And
again, we also had a great moment, a great call from JR again, because Omega took a powder. And JR didn't say, he's getting out of there. He very specifically said, and Omega flees. This is how dangerous it is. Omega's fucking out of here. It's like, there's.
Which makes sense because
even with the numerical advantage, Omega ran away from Brian Danielson. So that's something they can build on for like.
Brave Omega ran away.
Bravely ran away. When the American Dragon reared his head, he kneed him in it, and he kicked his fucking head off. Which is what he said.
Yeah, that's what he's wanting to do. Yeah, in the post media screen. Like when the cameras went off air, obviously it ended obviously with them standing tall in the middle of the ring. With
Cristian helped up
and whatnot.
And it was a nice moment that the two guys that came back from the really long injuries.
Yes.
Recently.
Makes sense.
And were the ones that were kind of really held back.
Yes.
By WWE. That they had this sort of a moment together. That was nice.
Yeah. But after the cameras went off, I've been seeing the footage offline for it, of Brian going kind of promo and saying what he's there for and whatnot, why he, it's like he's saying that he's a wrestler.
Number 3,
he is the wrestler.
I'm a wrestler and I'm here to wrestle. Again, it's AEW basically saying we're the wrestling company.
Mm-hmm.
You're the entertainment company, we're the wrestling company. You want wrestling? You want wrestling? You come watch our show.
Mm-hmm.
Come watch our show.
Yeah.
You wear the t-shirts.
And it was even evident with the post media scrum as well when Brian was talking there. He was there wanting to put the challenge to the elite, to anyone in AEW to prove
people, prove themselves. He's there to. He's there to. He's there as a gatekeeper as well. He's there as a gatekeeper to talent. He's there to advance talent. He's there to train. I bet you he's got I bet he was there like the head trainer probably. Oh, can you imagine a fucking dojo, a Ring of Honor style training dojo run by fucking Danielson and Punk together?
That will be.
Never mind the factory. Cody, Dustin, I know you're doing good work, but
or the nightmare. The nightmare. Yeah.
Can you
actually imagining that?
Actually, in fairness, we obviously joke about, oh wow, the factory. No, the factory. You can bet your ass that there'll be some guest training at some point down the line by both of those men, and that's only going to better people. It's only going to better people. Mm-hmm. There's so much of putting the. I think this was said somewhere. I think as well, and I think by Punk, putting that whole thing of the veterans giving back, that actual process that has kind of been like eliminated a little bit with all the part-time shit, but having that in place, because you got Matt, you got Cristian, you got Punk, you got Mark Henry, you got Big Show. It's not Big Show, sorry, Paul, right?
Paul White.
Even JR got it wrong, I'm fine. And he said Ruby Riott as well, but don't fucking
care. He did.
Who cares? Who cares?
No,
what are they going to do? Copyright the entire show?
Copyright claim the whole thing, but no.
Yeah, and like I say, Danielson, Punk, fucking hell. What Jericho? I forgot Jericho. Fuck's sake! You got those like 7 men. These veterans of different types, different styles, different eras.
Sting.
Fucking Sting. You
got people from the 80s.
You got promo people. Fucking Jake, Tully, On.
Even so
Malenko in the back.
You got
what a fucking stellar.
It's
wall to wall people you'd want advice from. Yeah.
From all walks of life, of all eras, of decades it's just AEW. It's only been presented to the public for the last 2 years.
2 years.
But it has a legacy that spans decades.
It's weird that we've already had over 100 Dynamites. Feels super weird that we've already had 100 Dynamites.
Yeah.
And yet, all good. And you've now got, as of the other day, Dynamite beating Raw in the key demo, which I know AEW themselves have pretty much said, look, come on, we're not going to make a big fuss about it. Except Jericho, who's obviously
God, after all.
I said it would take like 4 to 6 weeks. It's taken 4 to 6 days for us to really make them up. It's fucking insane. It's insane. And oh so good.
But yeah, this show has possibly been one of the best shows that the industry as a whole has seen.
It's the most important wrestling show since the original All In. But prior to that, you have to go back a long way.
Yeah. I mean, heck, even the NXT takeovers are paling in comparisons to this show.
Well, because NXT's lost its step and lost its way. There's only so many times you can put, Walter against somebody and
or
with a
Ciampa and
with a unique build, or Gargano Ciampa or something like that, or Adam Cole versus. Oh wait, you can't anymore. There's for the industry as a whole. You're right, though. It's the most important, impactful, and talked about show there has been for wrestling in I don't know
years?
how long. I don't know how long.
Or 30 years? 40 years? Or do you say like in the millennium?
Barring moments. Mania 20? Maybe? Because 20 was such a big deal. I'm not saying there haven't been good Manias since. And like I say, there's moments like obviously Taker's retirement as was.
I mean, I was going to say, do you think this is better than Mania 17?
No.
Or Mania X7?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so
I'm going to get to this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the best thing we've seen from it's the best thing we've seen from AEW, which is saying a lot considering AEW's set a pretty high bar for itself historically. It's had some very notable fuck ups.
Yeah.
It's when you've got people like this is the thing, right? It's the whole mainstream thing. Everyone was talking about Punk, but everyone's talking about all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
It's ironic that in this show, Punk wasn't the thing that everyone was talking about at the end of it.
Yeah, he wasn't the main event.
He wasn't the main event, which made sense. His return was not the main headline.
Yeah.
But it's just things like, when you're watching social everything and you see like Sports Illustrated Twitter account going fucking mental. Sports Illustrated, which is quite straight laced, really, going fucking mental. Bryan Danielson is all elite. Oh my fucking god! A lot of the main. A lot of the stuff that WWE craves in terms of mainstream recognition was all the stuff about Danielson, and Punk was in there too, obviously.
Yeah,
it hit so many of the things that WWE want. It got the media attention. It got the crowd buzz. It got the moments. There are so many fucking moments in that pay-per-view. So many. And they all felt natural. I cannot recall WWE doing anything that felt, a moment that was natural and not like not manufactured.
Yeah, like all the surprises that did kind of like show up in WWE shows and stuff like that were all just calculated.
It's part of the script. It's part of it.
Yeah.
Everything from "I'm sorry, I love you" down to the hat and the coat in the center of the ring to "Here comes Rollins with the briefcase" to it's all part of the script, and we know it. That's not knocking on the fact that wrestling's scripted, but it's just knocking on the fact that it's very hard in something that's so 100% scripted, or 99.9995% scripted, because it's one person's script, it's one person's show for an audience of one.
Yep.
Actually having like a unique moment, like and they have a history of this. They have a history of the most natural moments in the world, like hitting the cutting room floor, like when Brock's sunglasses fell off when he was having a go at Mankind, and Mankind put them back on his face.
Yeah.
And then it's like, The Rock thanks you for that. And then went straight back into cutting this horrible promo, but it was the seed that they could have used for the future face turn, because everyone wanted to cheer that. Everyone wanted to cheer The Rock, but it was cut out of the show because it didn't fit with the vision, even though it was the most beautiful organic moment. This show is important for wrestling. We will be talking about the show for a long time. It is they don't set the bar.
They are the bar.
They are the bar now.
Yeah. Quite
literally, AEW All Out 2021 is now the bar. It's the bar for modern wrestling. You cannot... We always mention, we talk about, and we'll do a retro review of it sometime, WrestleMania X7. It's the show. It's the show. If we do a top 5, all 3 of us, I'm kind of talking to you, the audience, now. If 3 of us did a top 5 of our top 5 pay-per-views of all time, X7's in every single one of ours. And it's probably 1 or 2. Without question, I would have thought. Mm-hmm. There's probably a couple in there as well that are obviously very similar, like Rumble 2000 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And what have you. But you can't realistically compare that era and what it was with what it is now. It is a very different state of affairs.
Oh yeah.
So there has to be some sort of rule guide here for that. X7's a 10. But what does that make AEW All Out, bearing in mind what this is?
Mm-hmm.
Telling you guys right now, Pete scored this a 9, which is pretty high for Pete.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's scored much higher. I think there might be I think 9 might be the highest he's ever done joint.
Yeah, I don't think he's. I don't think he's done
a 9.5. I don't think he's done 9.5.
No.
Turbo, what did you make of all this with this show?
Yeah, I mean, I like over the years and whatnot. It's like I've always had problems to stay up and watch, WWE pay-per-views and whatnot. And I've had my issues with AEW as well, where I had trouble trying to stay up for, prior AEW pay-per-views and whatnot. But this pay-per-view, All Out 2021, this was this kept me going throughout. Like you were saying, it was like the event was just breezing through. Everything was flowing very well. There was only slight niggles that I had. If I could go into even more decimal places, I could have easily gone like 9.999 indefinitely and whatnot. But I will have to admit that there was a couple of, just like, the second, the QT Marshall Paul White match obviously was going to be that kind of like, okay, let's bring it down a bit, and whatnot. So in light of all that and my general feelings to the little niggles, the best I can give it is a 9.5 out of 10. The closest I can give it to, it was almost pitch perfect. But damn, it was still a fucking good show.
It was amazing. For me, we say X7's, this was amazing show. It weren't perfect.
No, it was not.
It
perfect
was not
either.
perfect, and that because I was umming and ahhing about this for a while, and then it was like going back to the X7 comparison. Mm-hmm. And X7 wasn't perfect. There was a number of aspects,
the Battle Royale,
like the gimmick battle royale, you can sort of like. I love the gimmick battle royale.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was great. It was funny. The fact that Sheik won and looked like he didn't have a clue where he was, and then damn it, we had Slaughter choke him out because the 80s and 70s will not die. And either of them are just gone forever. But just be wrapped up as mummies and battling in some sort of tomb underneath Titan Towers on one day. As always with me, you guys know, it's when I look at these, I look at them from every match like technically gauged like a 0, a 1, or a 2. A 0 is a match I don't like. A 1 is a match that serves its purpose, and a 2 is a match I really enjoyed. Pretty much every single match on that card I really, really enjoyed. The buy-in worked wonders, did what it did, showcased a lot of people, got the crowd in the groove, got us in the groove at home. We were really good. We saw a lot of people, highlighted a bunch of stars, set up stuff for later. It was fun, it was stupid, there was still shreds of logic in there. It was great. Miro versus Kingston, hard hitting, meant something. There was lots of psychology in there. Wasn't clever psychology by any stretch of imagination, but you were immediately invested because, as I said in the chat, Kingston is going to be AEW's dreamer. He's going to be the guy who's the heart and soul of locker room. He's never going to win a fucking thing, but he's Eddie Kingston. He doesn't need to, because at any time he can just have the shit beaten out of him, or he can beat the shit out of anybody, and he can be face or heel no matter what you need, because he's Eddie fucking Kingston. Give him anything, he'll cut a promo on it that'll be in the top 5 promos you'll hear all year. Here, have an empty can of 7-Up. An empty can of 7-Up. Well, let me tell you about being empty and devoid of all the sparkling things in your life. Eddie Kingston could just do that because he's Eddie fucking Kingston. Kojima Moxley. If you thought Miro Kingston was hard hitting, well, welcome to New Japan. Done with reverence, done with respect. Moves meant something. It was a knockout, drag out fight. Then we had the tease. We had the women's world title match, which meant something. It was a fight. It was engaging. You didn't know which way it was gonna go. You had surprises with Cassidy, breaking out of his stoic shell and just fucking absolutely snapping. It was a really good match. You had a fucking shoe with thumbtacks in that I hope never to see again in my lifetime, let alone be used on a human being's face. You had a young woman finally get her chance in the spotlight after a long road and working and being overlooked and being embraced with her new identity, and set up a lot of good things in the future. You had an awful, horrible tease of a much loved veteran being sent on his way with a fucky finish, only for common sense to prevail. And oh my goodness, that's rare in wrestling. And you had an absolute rat bastard be the cause of your misery at the beginning and your misery at what you thought was the end, and who tapped out clean and sent you home happy. You had a returning hero after 7 years of something we thought would never happen. A hurt warrior of the ring, hurt in body, hurt in mind, and hurt in soul, who has found his way back. to take on a young kid that he sees himself in, very genuinely. They have a fantastic match. We have a calm down match in between. It is what it was. It served its purpose, and like I say, it has an asterisk next to it because it couldn't possibly be anything like it was. Could you imagine if we actually... You think this card stacked, everybody? Can you imagine if we'd have actually had Andrade and Pac on? Fucking think of that for a minute. We could have had that too.
Yeah. That
would
you know
boggle
what?
the mind.
If that was on, probably close. That it would have been even closer to a 10, possibly, if that was the case.
Who knows? Who knows? But like I say, it served its purpose. It served its purpose. It sort of refreshed the crowd for the main event. You had the slowly going deranged with power champion versus the only person that's found the chink in the armor and defeated him. Could he do it again? Yes, there was something that got in the way of the match, but that's wrestling. It was still really, really enjoyable. And then you had not one cherry on top of the cake, but two. In two debuts one that you knew was coming, one you hoped was coming, but almost didn't dare believe.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back. One to play with your emotions and then sort of disappoint you and anger you before going on to, oh my god, they've actually fucking done this. There is not a show in the last 15 years, 20 years, roughly that I can honestly say, from match 1 or match 0 in the case of with the buy-in to main event, every single match has had my attention. Every single match has entertained me in its own way. Every single match has set its stall out. It's had a purpose. It's had a reason. Except even the crazy fucking one at the beginning had its reason, and its reason was to be fucking crazy and ease people in. Everything had its reason. There's stuff coming out of every single one of these matches for the future. There's stuff, every single one.
That's the thing. It is, even though it's like, you would think that it's, we're talking about this thing being like the closing of so many. No, it's the path opening. Yeah. Of so many things for AEW.
House Hardy, or whatever the Hardy Family Office, I should say.
Yeah.
Focusing on Orange Cassidy. Eddie's now, trying to, from what we've seen, Eddie's now trying to think, what does he do next? Miro gets to be, just say, I told you so, I'm still a champion. He's got other things he could do, but there's still Eddie there.
Mm-hmm.
Kojima and Moxley literally directly ended up into Suzuki Moxley, and now there's continuation with Moxley in New Japan, and he can marry that up with GCW and taking baby Nora out for walks. One of these things is not like the other unless you're a parent. Baker won against Statlander, but it wasn't like definitive at all. And then there's now, what the hell was that with Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander? The Young Bucks lost. Lucha Brothers won. Lucha Brothers now get to set the pace for the entire tag team division. The Young Bucks get to forward. it progresses the story of what's happening with Elite and the weakening of the Elite, which then gets turned on its head later with the strengthening of the Elite because we've got Adam Cole, baby. The Battle Royale had a whole heap of shit in it. You know, Rio's going to be disappointed because of even that. She's going to be disappointed. She's going to have to fight her way back because she's probably ended up right at the bottom of the pile now. There's a whole heap of stories going on. Abaddon's not going away. That's a thing that's going to happen at some point. People actually have to deal with Abaddon. Ruby coming through. Thunder Rosa going against. Nyla Rose still thinks that she's owed something. Anna Jay's also trying to prove a point. Sakura and Shida are probably still hitting each other now. With Lulu Pencil just watching happily. Because Japan. The Pinnacle will not take lying down the fact that the Inner Circle got to stand together at the end of the match and be happy. And where was the Pinnacle, funnily enough, apart from Wardlow, to help MJF out? There's stuff going on. There's always stuff going on. Chris Jericho has to go away for a while. Remember? He has to go away for a while because there's a tour and there's a cruise. So there's stuff going forward from that. You got Punk and Darby. Darby gets to stay he stood up tall. There's something going on with there's the question about what's going to happen with Sting in the future. Punk got to start his road, which apparently leads through Team Taz and anybody else that gets in his fucking way because he's CM Punk. He doesn't care. Paul White has made his way back. He's still got a long way to go. He knows that. We know that. Both he and we know very much that. QT Marshall is QT Marshall, but he'll probably double down on making the factory even more this sort of twisted fucking hive of evil that's going to be in. Kenny Omega is scared fucking stiff of Bryan Danielson. The Elite got its ass handed to it. And things aren't finished with Cristian either, and he's got the Impact title still worried about. But you can bet Kenny Omega wants it back.
Well, more importantly, Don Callis wants it back.
Don Callis wants it back, just to put the thumb in the eye to Impact. Probably more than anything. Every single one of those matches meant something. Every single one has direction coming out of it for pretty much. I mean, not counting the Casino Battle Royal, because not everybody in the fucking Casino Battle Royal can come out with something. But all the main people have direction coming out of it. Even Kojima gets to go back and say he had this big, massive brawl with Moxley, and, you know, he lost. He lost honorably, but somebody in New Japan will take offense at that. And then he'll be in a program with them over it. There is not a match that was a dud. To me, anyway. There's not a match that was a dud. There is not a show that is comparable to it at this time. It is now the bar. So I'm going to make it the bar. It's a 10.
Well,
I never thought I'd actually realistically do a 10 on here. I wasn't confident in Frankly, wrestling. We've got very much rose-tinted glasses, I think, of wrestling.
This is definitely your Dave Meltzer, appreciation for New Japan levels of like accepting this. Like, you know,
I do think we have a somewhat. We've got a very rose-tinted view of the Attitude Era. Which was amazing and fantastic, and the Monday Night Wars were amazing and fantastic. It wasn't always.
No.
For every X7, there's a WCW Greed. or something like that, or
or
Road
Halloween
Wild.
Havoc. Or Road Wild. Oh yeah.
Or a sold out, more likely a sold out. Did I enjoy it? Yeah, you know, it's the if
Bottom line.
If not this, what? That's the question. That's the question I leave with all of you. If not this for a 10, what? Because I honestly didn't think we would even get close to this. But here we are. The only thing that even comes close, even in the talking point, is the classic takeovers, and we sure as shit aren't going to have any of those in the near future.
Definitely not the takeovers from like 5 years ago. I'll tell you that much.
So if not this, everybody, what? What do you think at home? Let us know if you're in the YouTube video for this, and by God, well done, because it's like 3 hours long, because we've just fucking gone on, and mostly me just yelling. So I'm sorry about that, and apologies to Turbo. But
what? I just enjoyed the ride.
Seriously, if not this, what? What has to be done to get a 10 in this industry as it is now? With wrestling as it is now. Let us know. What do you think it is?
Yeah.
Is it for everybody? No. But it is for me. I'm not saying that because I've spent a bunch of money on t-shirts for the place. But seriously, they're behind me. I got the Eddie Kingston one because I'm not going to buy the Punk one. Well, I'm going to buy other ones. Like, you know what? I need to buy an Eddie Kingston one. Why have I ever been? Because I just want to fucking support the guy. I have a Sting shirt. 8-year-old me is fucking ecstatic at this point in time. I can tell you that right now.
Nice.
And if you haven't joined them yet, please do join the Dark Order. That's probably what Pete's doing.
He probably is.
It's probably what Pete's doing. He's going to be actually jealous of that, isn't he? Fuck's sake. It's been a ride.
Yeah.
But it was a show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for Turbo for putting up with me for 3 hours.
No, it's fine because I wanted to hear it myself. So if you guys obviously enjoyed hearing it, let us know. Like, comment, and subscribe in the video or wherever you're hearing this on the podcast feed. You know, tell us.
I hope you enjoyed your week's worth of commutes for the time that it would take. This is going to be a two-part, clearly, but oh yeah, we'll be back. What's next? Actually, pay-per-view wise, what's next? And I say that knowing full well it's a WWE one. I'm going to be disappointed in your answer.
It's Extreme Rules.
I am not wrong. At least it's not Eyes for an Eyes and stuff like that. Like whatever was it last time?
That was last year. Yeah.
The whatever it was at Extreme Rules.
Was at the horror show at Extreme
horror show at Extreme Rules, and by God was it. We might go back and do a very brief run over of SummerSlam, I think, at some point, the pair of us, but that's for another day, another night, and I need a drink, so we're going to often do that. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in very soon. If you watch this on YouTube, please consider subscribing. If you're not watching on YouTube, please just consider subscribing to the YouTube channel, or putting us into your podcasting favourites, wherever it is. And if you're watching the YouTube channel, there's a podcast version on Spotify and Amazon Music and Apple and Google podcasts and pretty much freaking everywhere. So, like I say, check it out. But from both of us, it's over. Bye-bye.